guys, welcome back to another video here on Ruru's Rings. This week's episode of Jesus, Java, and Jewelry, we will be discussing everything you need to know before buying an engagement ring. So this is your go-to guide on everything you need to know before even starting the process of looking at engagement rings, getting an engagement ring, designing an engagement ring, whether or not to go to a retail store or an independent jeweler, designs, color cut, clarity, everything you need to know, like everything. So without further ado, let's get into the video. This week's Java is Fantasy Vibe Celsius. This is the best flavor of Celsius. It's mandarin marshmallow. Oh my gosh, it is the best one, truly. I love it, so good. Non-spons. So this week's topic for Jesus is a little bit of more of like a reminder. I'm not really doing any type of Bible study session where I go over a scripture or a prayer or anything. I'm really just kind of giving you a little reminder based on some personal things that have happened recently with some friends of mine. And I just feel like this is a reminder that some of you might need to hear. If you're going through a tough season in life and you're worried about how it might affect you, how it might affect the people around you, how you feel stuck, you don't know what to do, you're going through this tough season and you're wondering, Lord, why are you putting me through this season? I feel like I'm learning nothing. I feel like it's not growing me as a person. Like I'm already relying on you. I know it's not that I need to be drawn closer to you. Like what's going on here? Like what is the reason for this? And you go years throughout your life wondering like what was the purpose for that season that I went through. It might not be for your growth. Sometimes you're put in seasons to build your story so that your story can be used for someone else as a testimony. The whole reason we're here on earth is to make heaven crowded. And if your story can lead those to the kingdom, how amazing would that be? If you went through a tough season in life and you got through it through God, and you got to use that story as a means of bringing someone to heaven, and your story ended up being the clicking moment and the clarity someone needed to follow Christ, how amazing and glorious could that be? So this serves as a reminder that if you're going through a really tough season in life, remember that God can use your season of drought as a season of growth for someone else. Just a reminder that if you're going through a really tough season in life and you really just have no clarity and understanding or peace about what's going to happen and what's happening and how this is supposed to help you and grow you as a person, just have a little peace of mind knowing that it can be the turning point in someone else's testimony and walk in them following Christ. And some light at the end of the tunnel that even if you're going through a tough season, it still can be used for God's glory. So without further ado, we're on to our discussion of everything you need to know before buying an engagement ring. Buying an engagement ring is a wonderful milestone to hit. It's a wonderful step into a new chapter in life. It's a huge milestone to get to and to cross and to accomplish, but it can also be a very daunting task. This is a piece of jewelry that your significant other is going to say yes to the rest of their life with you or not. Well, it's not that dire. I'm sure they're gonna be lenient on you if you get a ring that they're not necessarily fond of. They're not just gonna say no. I'm not saying it's all about that, but today I am here to give you a little bit of peace of mind that you have enough knowledge going in buying an engagement ring that you don't have to really be thrown out into the deep end and have no idea what you're doing and have no peace of mind and really just no understanding of what you're doing and what you're getting. Engagement rings are a pricey item, so when you're buying an engagement ring, you don't want to spend that much money on something that isn't the right fit. This video is dedicated to my boyfriend so that when he has peace of mind from the Lord that it is time to propose to me, he will have everything he needs to know all in one video. Buying an engagement ring is not something you do that you just randomly come up with the thought of and you just go out and do it and then come home and you have a ring day of. It can be, but you probably don't want it to be. I worked at a jewelry store for a little while and I cannot tell you the amount of men that came in and tried buying a ring and saying, oh, I'm proposing to her tomorrow, I just want to get a ring. With no thought of the size, no thought of the look of it, no thought behind it. Just, okay, I'm gonna go buy a ring and I'm gonna propose tomorrow. That is the worst thing you can do. One of the best things you can do is to set a budget and a timeline. So let's say you're wanting to propose for Christmas. I recommend starting at least a 3-month timeline where you can save up the money for it. You can dedicate time to researching, working with an independent jeweler or a retailer, figuring out all the specifics you need to know before actually making the purchase of the ring. Because again, it's an item that your significant other is going to live with the rest of their life. So you want to put that time and that thought into it. Otherwise, it's going to show. If you don't put the thought and time into it, it's going to show, and it's not going to be good. So another reason you should set a budget is so that you don't go into debt trying to get your significant other a ring. There are so many factors to the rest of your life that you have to think about when buying the engagement ring is just the first step. You buy the engagement ring, you got to get a wedding band, you got to pay for the wedding, you got to pay for a house, you got to pay for kids, you got to pay for a car, like all these things. So you don't want to go into debt just getting the engagement ring when you have so many other things that you have to pay for. So I definitely, again, recommend at least a 3-month time frame of starting the process of looking into what you're getting, saving up for that. Because there's so many different types of wedding rings you can get that a budget would really help you and the independent jeweler that you work with or the retailer that you work with to really get a grasp on what you can afford and try to guide you through that process as well. It also allows wherever you're getting your ring from, whether independent or retail, to understand their range of creativity and their range of price and what they can offer you to where you get the best for your buck. An example, the size of the stone, the cut, the shape, the metal choice, the carat, all of these things play a factor with price. So again, the best way to do this is to set a timeline so you can ensure that you have a specific money goal or set aside budget for your ring so that you can save up enough to splurge on the love of your life. It also allows you enough time to hone in on the specific design you're looking for and get that specific design fabricated in real life. Another option for you if you need to set a budget for your ring is doing a layaway option. If you end up going looking at rings at a retail store or online or at an independent jeweler and you find the ring, you know for a fact it's the ring, but you can't necessarily afford it at the moment, you do have a good lot saved but not all of it, go with a layaway option. That would mean that they have your piece set aside and you just make payments on it weekly, monthly, however it is, until you have paid the entire thing off and then you get your item. That way, you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, this is the ring I want, but I don't have enough money for it. What if someone else gets it? So that is a great option for if you're trying to budget out and not necessarily spend a huge chunk of money at once on your ring. There will be a lot more specifics on budgeting and trying to figure out the price of your ring throughout this, as it really depends on all of the factors of the ring: metal, cut, clarity, choice of stone, all that kind of stuff. So now we talk about the actual ring itself. There's so much to talk about this and so many details about a ring. I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible, but I know it's not gonna be that short. So with your engagement ring, one thing you need to consider is if your partner wants to do the classic traditional diamond or if they want a colored gemstone. This would also affect the cost. I recommend if you're going for a colored gemstone option, try to go with a sapphire. Sapphires come in literally every color of the rainbow and more. They even come in bicolored. So if you're not going for a traditional diamond, definitely go with sapphire. It has the same hardness scale as a diamond, so durability wise and longevity wise, it's gonna last the same amount of time as a diamond, and you can get whatever color you want. Like truly, you can get whatever color. Sapphires also come in a bicolor option, so if you have a story you're trying to display with your engagement ring, I think sapphires are such a cool option. An example, me and my boyfriend have always had blue and yellow in our relationship. I'm yellow, he's blue. Yellow's always been my favorite color. Blue has always been his favorite color. And there is a bicolored sapphire that's both blue and yellow. Now, I personally want a diamond as my engagement ring, but if I had to opt for a colored gemstone, if he got me a bicolored blue and yellow sapphire, that would be the coolest thing ever, because it would really be the combination of our relationship into one. And it would be so cool being an engagement ring, because that's what getting married is. It's the combination of two people joining into one, biblically too. And so it's just really cool. There's really cool aspects you can do when you have a colored gemstone. You could opt for their birthstone if that's what they wanted. I recommend really researching the birthstone though, because let's say you wanted to do an opal as the engagement ring. I would not recommend that, just because the hardness of an opal is a lot lower than a diamond, and it's not necessarily suited for everyday long time wear. it'll probably chip and get destroyed, especially because an engagement ring is something you're gonna want to wear every single day. If you're discussing engagement rings, usually with an independent jeweler, they can really hone in on exactly the type of stone you should get. I would just discuss the kind of idea that you have with your jeweler, just to see like, hey, I really want opal, but I know that it's not a good idea, but I really love having the birthstone as an option. And your jeweler would probably say, oh, well, why don't you do pink tourmaline or a pink sapphire? That way it still has the color of the birthstone option, which for October it's opal and pink tourmaline. So, you know, we can kind of work our way to get you to where you're wanting and kind of meet in the middle between the durability aspect, but also the design aspect. So when you're discussing your center stone, whether it's diamond or a colored stone, usually the jeweler or retailer will have 4 C's listed with your stone. If your stone is not already mounted in the ring, it'll come in a paper, and on the paper it'll have a sticky note that says like SS1 G colored brilliant cut round stone. And so those letters all correlate to the 4 C's of the stone. The 4 C's would be the color, cut, clarity, and carat of your stone. If you're working with a jeweler online or just ordering online, this can tell you everything you need to know about your stone without having to actually see it in person. I've already made a video specifically talking about color, clarity, and carat. So if you want to have like a lot more in-depth talk about that, check out my video about that. It's literally listed like everything you need to know before buying quality jewelry gemstones edition. So look into that if you want like a lot more depth. I'm still going to go into the depth in this, of course. With cut affects the sparkle and appearance of your stone. So cut doesn't always pertain to the shape. It usually does, but sometimes you can have the same shaped stone in different cuts. An example, an emerald cut stone versus a radiant cut stone. They are both rectangle shaped stones, but the radiant has more sparkle and shine than the emerald. Let's say you want a square shaped stone. There's princess cut, there's Asher cut, there's radiant. Again, if you talk to your jeweler or your retailer or whoever you're working with to get your engagement ring, hey, I don't really know what shaped stone she wants, but I know she just wants to have the most sparkle ever. We can guide you pretty easily to the best stone for your option, especially if you have a shape in mind. We can get you the most sparkly cut for that shape or just the sparkliest stone possible. Next C would be our color C. So color would be the color grade and the impact it has on the look of the stone. Color is truly dependent on the stone and the stone choice. When it comes to diamond, you can get a yellow diamond, a blue diamond, a pink diamond, brown diamond. Those would be just considered colored diamonds. Those don't necessarily have gradings. But if you're looking for a regular traditional diamond, you want a white/clear diamond. Diamonds can come in a range. They can come in a very yellow colored white diamond all the way to a very white diamond. And so you can get right in the middle where it looks kind of like a brownish tint, but it's still really white. It just looks a little bit dingy. That would be considered on the color of your stone. Now that is a range, and I'll list it here so you can see because I'm probably gonna say it wrong. To get a white clear diamond, at least eye clean clear, I recommend going no lower than an I. D is the best color you can get. But truly, you don't have to get a D to have a really eye clean, clear stone, and that would also save you on price as well. For colored gemstones, that also is kind of based on preference. So let's say you want to do a traditional blue sapphire. So if you're doing a blue sapphire, the best blue sapphire you can get is a Ceylon blue sapphire, and that is a clear, dark blue sapphire. But if your girlfriend wants a almost black colored blue sapphire, that wouldn't necessarily be the best color grading of a sapphire, but if it's her preference, go with that. Clarity is determined on the carbon specs in the stone. This refers to inclusions. There's usually inclusions in every stone. It's just a matter of if you can see them with the naked eye or not. So these would be carbon specs in your diamonds. Salt and pepper diamonds are actually just really included diamonds that they marketed differently so that people would buy them. Salt and pepper diamonds are just heavily carbon included diamonds. If you want an eye clean diamond, go no lower than a VS2. That would be eye clean, meaning it's no clear specks from the naked eye. Last but not least of our 4 C's would be carat weight. So carat weight is the density of the stone and actual like heaviness of the stone. This usually is also determined by the dimensions of your stone. So if you have a 6.5 millimeter stone, that usually refers to a 1 carat stone. Of course, it can range by a couple points on the carat. A 2 carat stone is typically an 8 millimeter stone. So again, it just really depends on the weight and the size of your stone. I believe a 6x8 is a 1.5 carat stone when it's an oval stone. A great tip for staying under budget if you are getting a 1 carat stone is to just get a 0.9 carat stone. It is significantly cheaper while still looking the exact same in shape. Like, it looks the exact same in size, but it's significantly cheaper because once you reach that 1 carat and above, the prices go up like skyrocket. So the next topic would be choosing the right metal. If you get your girlfriend a yellow gold ring when all she wears is silver or white gold, you're not paying attention and that is not gonna be good for you. Please, please, please pay attention to the jewelry that she wears. If she is constantly wearing silver, buy her a silver ring. If she's constantly wearing yellow gold, buy her a yellow gold ring. I would just communicate this with someone because I wear silver all the time. That's a personal choice on budget. I want yellow gold for my engagement ring. I only wear silver because it's all I can afford. I am slowly transitioning to gold. As you can see, I'm very slowly transitioning to gold, and slowly but surely I'll get to all gold at one point. You can also ask her family members or her friends what her preference would be. You could probably ask one of her friends like, hey, can you bring up engagement rings? Or maybe talk about the engagement ring you want, so maybe she'll bring up what she wants. You know, you can figure out a way to get her to tell you. If not, just blatantly ask, hey, if I was to get you an engagement ring, what kind of engagement ring would you want? Because that is a conversation you should have. It shouldn't be where you're just blindly going and getting an engagement ring without having a discussion of marriage or a discussion of engagement. Please have the discussion before looking for an engagement ring. There's pros and cons with yellow gold, white gold, platinum, silver, all of these options. With silver, it does tarnish every now and then, but as long as you're wearing it like constantly, which an engagement ring you would be wearing constantly, it's definitely a great option to go for, especially if your girl doesn't care if it's silver or white gold. They look the exact same. You really cannot tell. The only thing is that if you're not wearing your silver every day, it will start to tarnish. But again, an engagement ring is something you do wear every day, so you shouldn't really have to worry about that. White gold, you have to get rhodium plated every year to keep it white gold, so that can be really annoying, especially if your girlfriend's a nurse or something like that, where you're constantly having to wash your hands or use sanitizer. It turns the inside of your band yellow versus white. Just because of the constant use of the hand sanitizer, it wears off the plating. So you have to get it rhodium plated probably like every 6 months to a year. I definitely recommend just getting silver if you're debating between white gold or silver. Plus, silver is significantly cheaper and just a better option of the two. Yellow gold is a great option depending on the carat you get. I recommend getting a 14 carat. If you get an 18 carat, it's definitely softer, but don't go past an 18 carat. 18 carat is probably the softest I would go for gold, just because of the durability aspect, because your metal will soften and wear down over time. With 14 carat, it's like the perfect mix of a good amount of gold while also having alloys to keep it durable and strong. So yeah, just kind of keep track on what your girl wants and what she wears and what her preferences are when it comes to the metal choice. I will say, if you do get the wrong metal choice, it's not the end of the world. You can get your piece dipped. You get a white gold ring. She absolutely hates white gold. She wants it yellow. You can take it to a jeweler, get it dipped in yellow, and it'll stay yellow. Or vice versa. If you get a white gold ring, she hates it, wants yellow, you can get it dipped in yellow, it'll stay yellow. Or did I say that wrong? I think I just said the same thing over. You can get it you can get it switched the metal color. It's okay. And the good thing about that is it's not the same as like gold plating. It doesn't wear off because it's gold going on gold. It stays. So if you want your white gold ring to be yellow gold for the rest of its life, you can do that. Next topic would be ring styles and settings. This is really, there's so many different styles and designs when it comes to rings that this is a really tough topic, at least with trying to guide you to what you want, because everyone's preference is different. But I'll just tell you what all the different styles are. A solitaire style engagement ring would be a standalone single stone. A halo is a ring of diamonds surrounding the center stone, usually to enhance the look of a smaller center stone. You can also do a hidden halo, which would be on the underside of the main center stone, more of like a secret little pretty little extra bit for you, not necessarily something that most people can see. A halo is a great option, especially if you're opting for a smaller center stone, because it does just enhance the look and makes it look like a bigger stone. Vintage style usually has a lot of mill grain, a lot of detailing, engraving, swirls, patterns, Great Gatsby-esque style. It's so Art Deco. Three-stone ring would be obviously three-stone ring. The center stone usually is bigger, while the two side stones are a little bit smaller in size, and a three-stone ring represents the past, present, and future. A toi et moi ring is a two-stone ring, usually a pear-shaped stone with a rectangle-shaped stone, and the name itself represents you and me. You can go either very traditional or completely unique when it comes to this kind of style. There's so many different ways to incorporate these styles in different kind of fun ways, especially if you work with an independent jeweler. Usually, if you have a cool idea in mind, independent jewelers can really bring your idea to life. And there's different settings that also enhance the gemstone, so that's another thing you should put into play. Different settings can play a role into the look, into the shine and luster of your gemstone. A bezel setting, for example, is a great choice, especially if you have a very clumsy girlfriend. A bezel setting is great for longevity and durability and just keeping your stones safe. The most common would be pronged settings, whether it's a peg head prong setting or a basket setting. With all this being said, I really think you should go with your partner's preference when it comes to getting a ring. If your partner has the ideal ring set out, go with that ring. If you're wanting to put some more thought and details into it, try to do that with the details of the ring, not the overall ring. I've seen so many times when someone comes in saying, I want as many diamonds as possible on this ring, and they get an Invisiset, square, pave, like all these little diamonds, when the girlfriend showed a picture of just a solitaire princess cut diamond. They wanted just one big stone, not a ton of little ones. As long as you're putting thought into the ring you're getting her, you should be okay. Really, your girlfriend just wants to know that you're putting thought and you're paying attention to her when you're getting her a ring. Because, you know, if she doesn't know what she wants, but she wears yellow gold jewelry and she loves yellow gold jewelry, and you get her a solitaire white gold ring, she's gonna realize like, oh, he's really not paying attention to what I want. I also recommend to enlist help from their family or their friends, because they also have insight that you might not have, especially if your girlfriend has a ton of girlfriends and she, you know, all of her friends are starting to get married, she's thinking about it. If her friends are starting to get married, they're starting to get wedding rings, she's looking at wedding rings herself and she's thinking about it. So I would just enlist the help of your friends, help of her friends, help of her family, because they can ask her questions that don't necessarily seem suspicious or, oh my gosh, are you gonna propose anytime soon? If you are inheriting a ring, it's definitely a different way to go about it, because either you can stick with how it is, perfectly fine, that's great. If she loves it, that's great. If she doesn't, you can always get it redesigned. Say you're inheriting a yellow gold ring, but she only wears white gold, you can get it dipped to be white gold. So you still keep the traditional design of that inherited ring, but all you do is just change the color of the metal. That way it matches her better, but it still keeps the history of the ring. Or you can just get it redesigned altogether. You can work with an independent jeweler and we can design up a new ring for you using the same metal and same stones, so it still keeps the history of the ring together, but having a new style where your girlfriend's soon-to-be fiance would want to wear for the rest of her life. So the next topic would be shopping smart and exactly where to buy. So there's different ways that you can buy a ring. You can either buy online, you can work with an independent jeweler, or you can shop from retail. I really just would recommend going to a personalized independent jeweler, just because there's so many great pros of doing so. And you can get a really unique piece that really encapsulates the story of you and your partner. The last topic that I kind of forgot to talk about, which I don't know how, is the lab-grown versus natural-grown diamonds. If you are trying to ball on a budget, go for lab-grown. It looks the exact same. It is the exact same. It's just made in a lab versus in the ground. Lab-grown is a real diamond. If you're going for budget, get lab-grown instead of natural. If you can get natural, get natural. I want natural, but I know that I can't afford natural, and I would much rather spend that money on a house or a car or something like that. I would much rather save that money for something else. Lab grown is a real diamond. It's just not in the ground. It's not even a dupe. It's just real. Like, it's a real diamond. So it's not even like, oh, I just got the dupe diamond. No, it's like a legit, it's a real diamond. It's just way cheaper. I'm off my soapbox now. I hope this video gives you insight and a little bit more peace of mind when you're trying to find out the engagement ring you want. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Jesus, Java, and Jewelry, where we went over everything you need to know before buying an engagement ring. And I really, really hope this video gave you peace of mind. If you have any other questions, comments, and concerns or anything relating to this, please leave them down below in the comments. You can DM me on Instagram and I'll give you some more info on, hey, I have this idea for an engagement ring. I have no idea how to do it. DM me on Instagram. I will help you. I will get you there. Another thing I'd like to say before the end of this video is I am a jeweler myself. If you want some custom made engagement rings or custom jewelry, let me know. Hit me up in the comments below. DM me on Instagram. Check out my website that's in the description below. Hit the link in the description below and it'll take you to my website where you can fill out a custom form. I would love to help you get your dream engagement ring creation a reality. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave a comment down below. If you have any prayer requests, leave a comment down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you do feel so inclined. And yeah, I'll see you guys when I see you. God bless you guys. Love you. Bye. Mwah. Seriously though, I'm talking to you guys who are just have this random thought in your head that you're gonna propose the next day and you're walking in, grabbing a ring and leaving. Don't do that. Put thought into it because she's gonna say no. Put thought into it. Do not do it on a whim. Please, please just put thought into it. If you put thought into it, she's gonna love it and it's gonna be okay. Okay? You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay.